Okay, so I was just doing some driving practice with him, going from driving to sending. Distinction being driving is me staying behind his hindquarters, or at least as close to his hindquarters as I can get. Whereas sending is closer to the forehand, and so I'm trying to make sure I can maneuver him either direction from either position, because I basically want him to have, I guess, call it 6 regions of his body I can get him to maneuver from. The front, okay, cool. The forehand on each side, so basically front, middle, back, so that's 1, 2, and 3, and then on the other side, also the same thing of front, middle, back, so that's 6 sides. But then also I still want him to handle upper pressure directly in front of him. And I have brought my ropes out here. I'm not going to use them today because frankly I don't love them. They're really, really, really long, and I didn't put a circling on him today because I'm still trying to get him to get kind of full complete access to the skill set off of my stick aid, which is more similar to a leg than to just give him the pressure in the bridle, which would be the halter in this situation. So I'm going to show you basically me steering him around the arena using the stick and going from position to position with him kind of just moving in from one to the next seamlessly and understanding what to do, so that he is able to respond in both sides from all 3 positions, without having a question of what he's supposed to do next. So the hard part, one of the reasons I've kind of stopped videoing is I'm like, I can't really figure out a great spot to film from that I know I can get everything within good enough detail for it to be worthwhile. Because if I'm on the far side of the arena, on the far side of the horse, you can't see what I'm asking. So, and the weather's been terrible, so my phone just kept getting knocked over. Not so great. So I'm gonna go ahead and get him started on this again. And basically the poles are right here. I might have him go over those, probably not. I don't know, we'll see. It just kind of depends. But I'll try and keep it in vantage points so you guys can see this. So, cool. All right, friend, you ready? So as you can see, a little bit slower on the right hand side in terms of responsiveness, so I have to stay a little closer to the forehand, which I'm then always trying to get away from me. But the haunches on the left hand side are starting to understand when I'm indicating for him to move those away from me. And then the last few steps that I did just here while I had him stopped were for me to ask his haunches on the left hand side to step forward and under himself. So as soon as that gets more mobile, we'll have a better ability to yield that forehand on the right hand side. I know that sounds weird. But because what he's doing is basically offloading weight from his left hind to his right front, he looks dropped and heavy on that right front, which he is. And so when his body can start mobilizing that left hind, it'll eventually be strong enough to take weight back to it as well. So, I don't know, I think these fun things are really fun. He's doing a great job. I have his attention, even if he doesn't always understand everything I'm asking. So I'm happy with the fact that he's giving me good effort. He was a little slow behind the aids today in the trot. That's okay with me. We haven't done a ton of trot work in the last 2 weeks because I've basically taken that off the table in favor of yielding work. So moving the forehand, moving the haunches, moving the forehand, moving the haunches, so that I can get that steering really, really simple and easy. So we'll start bringing that back in the trot so I can basically do a similar thing. But what I really like essentially is when I can get a horse to lunge almost the whole arena, which I did 3/4 of it so you guys could see I could do the whole arena with him, no problem right now if I needed to. But I can get him to go the full arena so he's getting a more regular workload instead of just having them do a dozen million circles around me in the very center of the arena. So I'm getting his body to eventually be able to actually step deeper into corners and bend through turns in hand by just indicating which end of his body needs to move away from my stick. And so once he understands that in hand and has the strength endurance to kind of keep and maintain that, then he will be able to develop that under saddle much quicker. And it'll translate a lot better because the strength will already be there so that what I'm asking isn't a total foreign concept. So hopefully you guys are liking what you're seeing. I think he's doing great. I'm really pleased with him. I'm really pleased with where his mental state is at right now. I'm having to kind of work to bring him up instead of work to bring him down. Which to me is always a good sign. I'll zoom in on him so you can really see how literally just like chill he is. But yeah, he is very sedate with all of this, and I'm really glad to see that. So really pleased with him. He's doing a great job.